watching BBN Tonight on your official UK sports station, LEXIngton. Presented by Central Bank, the official bank of UK athletics.
Welcome back to BBN Tonight. We continue our breakdown of last night's Kentucky and Kansas basketball game.
Let's check in with Mike Pratt of the UK Sports Network. Hey, Mike.
Mary Jo, how are you? Keith?
Doing well. First off, Mike, just offer us your impressions that you saw from last night's game.
Well, it's a basketball game that may have set college basketball back 20 years. At the offensive end, and not so much the defensive end, but the offensive end. I mean, that was as ugly an offensive performance out of everybody on both teams, with the exception maybe of Wilson for Kansas, who, boy, when they needed some hoops, he ran 10 straight hoops, 2 threes, 2 layups, and ended up leading them in scoring. The kid really played well, particularly in the second half. So it was an ugly game. You hope they got that one out of their system. But saying that, guys and gals, they still could have won.
Yeah.
They still could have won. They continue to shoot themselves in the foot. And once they get that worked out, I think you'll see a different ball club.
So they're great at shooting themselves in the foot, but not really three-pointers. Maybe the worst stat from beyond the arc. The Cats are 3 of 31 from downtown over the last 2 games. They've got to be able to hit from outside. I don't know if it's just poor shooting, if it's poor ball movement, decision-making. What do you see there?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do, Mary Jo, with ball movement and decision-making on shots. Yes, it does. And so what we have right now after these 2 games, particularly the Richmond second half and then this game period, guys are shooting what we used to call a scared stick. And they're guiding the ball. Some people talk about guiding the ball. And I watched some guys shoot the ball, and it was as if they couldn't let go of the ball. You know, it was like they were just pushing it out instead of just standing in there, bringing it up and shooting it. And I was watching that, and when they needed baskets the most, that's how they began to shoot the ball, which tells me that their confidence is shaken. You can't worry about the last miss, the last 10 misses. You've got to play the next shot as if it's going to go in. And right now, these young cats are not doing that.
You know, we've talked about Olivier SARR's foul trouble. He had 4 last night. Fatigue may be part of the issue, I'm not sure, but he struggled with foul trouble at Wake Forest last season too. You're not only an analyst, you've also played the game, you've also coached the game. What would you do to fix that? How do you fix getting into foul trouble?
Olivier, first of all, has to be a little bit more careful defensively what he does. Instead of trailing hit the man he's guarding anywhere on the floor, he's got to get ahead of him. He's got to try to get that hand between the passer and his defender, or the guy he is defending. You know, he just has to pay more attention to where he is on the floor and where the man that he's guarding is. It's just a mental thing. Now, I know you're going to ask me this. Why can't he stay in games and score points? Well, for one, the reason we just talked about. But 2, did you notice every time he caught the ball, there was a double team on him or somebody coming on the catch? Okay, so they're trying to jam him. And why are they trying to jam him? Obviously, they respect his offense. But the other thing goes back to what Mary Jo and I talked about. If you're not hitting the outside shot, then you want to take away the inside game and offer all those outside shots to the team you're playing. Say, go ahead, knock yourself out. Yeah. I'm going to play you this way until you start making shots. So the middle was jammed tight for all of Kentucky's big men, in particular SARR, trying to take him out of the game.
They never did start hitting those shots. Quickly, Mike, got to ask you, what was it like calling the game from here since the pandemic's keeping both you and Tom from traveling?
It was really pretty neat. I think an advantage was Tom and I were in the same room. We social distance. Jimmy Barnhart was behind us, our engineer, social distance. I think it was much easier to do that, although I'd never done one before, than say if I was in Topeka, Kansas, and Tom was in Kansas City. I think that's harder to do because you don't have a feel with your partner. And after you do enough games with someone, whether it be television or radio, you have a feel for the guy. I mean, It's just a sense, body language. And we had that last night in the room, and I thought it made things a lot easier.
Well, good. Well, we always enjoy the call. So thanks again, Mike.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We're going to lighten the mood up a little bit next.
We're going to take a look back at some of the biggest bloopers on Zoom calls.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone can relate. We'll be right back.